Math Prezi project. On the first day back to school, we were asked to do a mini project on math. We were split into groups with whom we had to work with. It's been a tough week, but we managed to finish. Here we present to you our presentation by Bruno, Jacqueline, and Ian. Rates, ratios, and percents. Ratios. What is a ratio? A ratio is a comparison between two amounts. For example, Kim has 2 cats and 3 dogs. The ratio between cats and dogs is 2 to 3. Representing ratios. 2:3. Using a colon is a common way of writing a ratio. 2 to 3. The 2 replaces a colon. Some people prefer to use this method rather than using a colon. 2/3. A ratio can be represented as a fraction. 0.6666 or 0.67. It can be expressed in a decimal form. 67%. If a ratio can be expressed in decimal form, then it can be expressed as a percent. Real-life examples of ratios. Scott Clemenson stopped 25 out of the 26 shots that the Vancouver Chinooks shot at the net. Ratio is 25 to 26. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of the ice rink stands Robert Lunongo, who stopped 20 out of the 22 shots. Ratio is 20 to 22. Population. The ratio of men to women as of July 2007 is nearly 1 to 1. It is 49 to 51, as estimated by the U.S. Census Bureau. Rates. A rate is a comparison between two quantities of different units. An example would be Jimbo rides a bike 35 kilometers in 5 hours. The rate would be 35 kilometers in 5 hours. Rates can also be transformed into unit rates, which would calculate what would be done in 1 unit. An example is if Jimbo rides a bike for 35 kilometers in 5 hours, the unit rate would be in 1 hour, Jimbo rides 7 kilometers on his bike. Some real-world examples. 1 person dies every 8 seconds. The unit rate would be 1 person for every 8 seconds. Percentages. Percentages are numbers that represent a fraction out of 100. An example is Julio gets 67% on his unit test. A real-life example of a percentage is only 2% of the Earth's water is fresh water. How do ratios relate to percents? Percents are another way to represent ratios. Therefore, ratios and percents are related.